Okay, all the clear coating is done, it's drying now, and I'm just having a look and assessing it. So I think I've scored 2 for 2 so far. There's my second little project. The first one was the Nissan. Turned out great. Applying clear coat over these decals is usually considered a no-no. I wanted to try it anyway. For the second time, folks, it has not destroyed the decals. It's looking great. There is, however, an issue with this stuff. Let me show you. So this one's off of Amazon. A lot of model makers use this one. There are lots of glowing review comments there. But this is the main issue I have. See that? What does that say? Instant dry. Bullshit. Does not instantly dry. In fact, 3 days later I was touching this and coming away with still wet paint on my finger, and so it's been smudged here and there, and I just got to the point where I gave up. And look, I didn't really care. I wasn't too pedantic because it's an old model car, and I think you can get away with a few, let's call them scratch and dents. So I've applied the clear coat in this case over the top of this. Now I can always go over it again. The clear coat hasn't reacted with it, although like the front's not too bad, but have a look at the back here. I did have a nice sharp line along there. I used tape, and that's just gone a bit weird on the edges. And see that whitish nonsense happening there? Yeah, so I think we'll be going over it again. Something's happened with the mottle down there. That was a nice clean application, but something weird's going on there. But overall, it's a success. I think I've just got just the right kind of decals. I got them off of eBay. They're from a place in Vietnam, I think. They specialise in knocking out these decals, but that's 2 out of 2 that have worked perfectly okay, and they didn't mind the Tamiya clear coat over the top. Like, it looks pretty sharp, pretty good. Some of my painting leaves a lot to be desired. This is where you can see where the red leaked out the side of the masking tape, and down here I didn't bother touching it up. Didn't bother. And again, this is all a learning experience, but I'm definitely going to keep this one. I'm going to put it fully together with the chassis and everything, and I'm definitely very happy with it. The next thing is to do the glass. I'm going to cut up some plastic, cut to size, and glue it in there. See how we go. I haven't done that before. I'm going to use raw materials and see if we can make it look like, well, it's not going to look like I bought one, I can tell you now, but hopefully it'll look convincing enough. Yeah, it'll look convincing enough. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know if I'd paint, I don't know if I'd use this again at all. One, it doesn't dry instantly, so there's some false advertising right there. Didn't dry instantly in my application, I can tell you. I think there's another one by the brand SMS the guys are telling me I should have used. It's much better. But see, there are model makers, like I said, shouting the praises of this one. So you got to try these things and just see what happens. But I'll use this for something, but generally I don't think I'll use it again on these car bodies. I think there's better. Like the top of that bumper bar there looks pretty neat, right? Well, that was me resorting to one of my brushes here. I just, at Hub's advice, I just splotched this down and created, where is it? Where's it hiding? Yeah, I just created a big pool of the ink there, and then I was brushing that on by hand very carefully. And isn't it ironic? That's my brushed result, and that's the non-brushed result. Like, you know, You tell me which is better. You know? So, yeah, but I guess the moral of the story is don't be too afraid to just get in there with the brushes, you know? Sometimes it's good enough. That's what I'll probably do next time, but again, I've got failing eyesight. I'm starting to get the shakes. Oh, God. Not real bad, but not as steady as I was. I tell you, it is becoming a challenge, but all things considered, I'm pretty bloody happy with that, and I can't wait to get this guy finished on the track and racing. I think it's going to be great fun. And then I'm going to make 3 more of them. Yeah, quite a task. Okay, slot car adventurers. The last couple of weeks I've been doing quite a few little fiddly practical additions to the layout, little things here and there. Of course, there's our rock band as you've seen it before. I've got some more LEDs to install on that stage, flashing blue ones, more flashing red ones. I'm going to make it a bit more happening, so when it's just in its standstill mode, it'll still look like a band on stage rocking out. Very happy with that. But first of all, I'm very pleased with this. I finally used some of this Carrera guardrail to create a decent little pit lane wall. Not too over the top. I see some of the channels, they go to quite extreme lengths to create brilliant looking pit wall. Pit walls are sort of that classic concrete with a little shape, the contour. What I've found is, depending on the cars, and if I'm running the 124 scale cars, this can't be very thick. If it's got any thickness at all, the cars are rubbing up against it at each end. So I've just gone with this, the standard Carrera guardrail. I worked out where it needed to sit, the length. I had to lie it down next to it and look down in there to see where the red plastic joiners are. And I just marked the edge with a black Sharpie and notched all that out until I was able to just slot that in between the track pieces, just like that. Curved it around this end. Looks pretty darn cool. Very happy with it. The cars do not bang against it. It's all good. Very pleased with how that turned out. It's simple, it's straightforward, and best of all, I already had the stuff, so there's no expenditure. Now, I've been umming and ahhing whether to add this Carrera bridge. I've got this one, I've got the Red Bull one, I even got a Dunlop Scalextric one somewhere. And finally I succumbed and I've added it in. I really do like it there at that point of the straight. I took a notch out here, a notch out there. It's fit nicely. It hasn't disrupted my scenery. It looks like it's meant to be. I'm very happy with it, okay? But the next thing, I'm still not too happy with this corner. I love the magnetic racing Gulf spectator stand there. That's a beauty. I love all the bits, but I still don't like this corner. It's just not quite right. I did have a couple of open spectator stands which have now been used on the other side of the Ferris wheel there, but I liked them when I had them sitting here previously, so I've built 2 more. Here they are. You might have caught a glimpse of them when I was showing you the build of the Marshal Lookout Tower. So I've whacked these together. I'm still going to add some signage to them. Haven't decided yet, but I think those are going to go here side by side in place of the Gulf one. I do like the Pepsi Cola there. That's the only feature I do like. I've added some of DG Raceway's metallic guardrail. Don't mind the Lego vehicles. I don't know how they ended up there. They'll have to go somewhere. Yeah, there's the guardrail. I've bent it around. Looks good. Put a bit of graphic here. I'll put more there and there. It's a little bit there to fill in. I might need some more. I'll have to get onto it. So I think I'm going to put these in place, 1 and 2. I think the Gulf, this one, I think that's going. Some of these trees are going. It's just not quite right yet. got to muck around with that. So they're made, they're ready to go. That's something I'll be doing over the next week or so. This is really cool. This is a die-cast stretch Hummer. Look at that. How cool is that? Now, I am tempted to turn this into a project, turn it into a working slot car, but I think it's going to get stuck up in that cage corner. I don't think it's going to get around there, but who knows? If I'm daring, we might do that. But that's going to be parked over somewhere in there next to the stage, surrounded by groupies and probably a bodyguard or two waiting for the band to finish their set, and they're going to nick off in their stretch Hummer. That'll be funny and amusing. And yeah, I think this was an AliExpress, only $20 or $30. Proper 132 scale. You pull that thing out and this thing plays hip-hop music and lights up. I don't know if it bounces, but wouldn't that be cool? The bit's open at the back. The door's open. I think the boot opens up, doesn't it? Yes, it does. And there's like a big stereo system in the back. Very cool. Not bad at all. Yes, you are seeing correct. I succumbed and bought another slot car. Well, I bought a few actually. I got the Revo slot Supra. And folks, I am pleased to report that out of the box, this is probably the best running Revo slot I've had to date. Fantastic. I ran about 100 laps straight the other night with this thing. I just love it. So I'm going to work on it, make it even better as usual, but out of the box, really, really good, even on the Carrera plastic track. Remember, these are ideal for racing on a wood-routed track. That's what they're really made for. You need to trick them up a bit to get them to work really nicely on the plastic track. It doesn't have a magnet in, but I was enjoying the non-mag experience. As you can see right there, the car in slow-mo spinning out on this corner. Pretty cool. Yeah, I did about 100 laps like that. It was one of those moments where forget about all the other stuff. Let's just enjoy running the car. And it was a great evening. Just sitting there running the car. Amazing. Guys, if you've been thinking of getting the Supra, I can definitely give it the thumbs up. I think there's 3 different liveries in the new release. Definitely consider them. I'm very happy with it. Very, very happy with the Supra. Great car. Now, what else have I got to show you? Oh, yeah. One Mini just wasn't enough, so I got the second Mini. I've got the 2 BRM Minis, so these are 124 scale, but you wouldn't really know it. They run great on this track in analog mode, thanks to the axle box, the awesome axle box. I think we'll do another video on this soon, the axle box 1 year later. I can tell you now, it's been performing flawlessly. I've had no problems with it. Touch wood with lemonade on top of it. I've had no problems with it. Bloody brilliant. And I tell you what, if it wasn't for this thing, this awesome piece of tech created by Alex over there in Canada, I wouldn't have sent myself frickin' broke buying all these bloody slot cars. Yes, thanks, Alex. I'm joking, mate. It's a revelation. It's brilliant. If you've got a Carrera track, you really should get one of these. Get it installed, because you can buy any brand slot car. Then you've got an analog mode. You can go nuts. Look at all these NSRs. Yep, this is all acquired since installing the axle box, and no regrets, so much fun, great cars, not just stuck running the same old Carrera ones. You know, I'm running the Scale Electric analog, the Scale Auto and analog. None of these are chipped, no need to. Yeah, really, really happy with the axle box, folks. So check out his Facebook page, Axle Box homepage, I believe it's called. Get in contact with Alex, and tell him what your needs are. He can advise which axle box system is right for you. I believe he can even customize it for exactly what you need, as he did with me. I've got this emergency stop button here. There's another one on the other side, and this is our stop start for racing. But you know, if you want to do an emergency stop, boom, everything stops. Got the quick release, back in business. It has been absolutely fantastic. Just took things in this room to a whole new level. So we can now in analog run, have a mini race on family race night. Very happy with that. Guys, these BRM minis I think are a must-have, even if you don't like minis or you're not familiar with them. These cars, these are as much fun as the Pioneer Legends. Seriously, they're just bloody brilliant. Of course, the 917s from BRM, this is just my top shelf slot cars sitting right there. Love these things, they're so good. And the Scirocco, however you pronounce it, I love this thing as well. Good old Digger got one of these, showed me, and I went, oh, I've got to get one of them, got to go. We found the last one left in Australia, I believe. I got it, very happy. And folks, I succumbed again to the BRM temptation, and this week I took delivery of the Ford GT40 Mark II, I believe. Look at that. Absolutely bloody brilliant. Haven't run it yet, it's just arrived. Let's see if we can get the rear detail. I don't know if that's in focus. I'll know when I'm editing. One back a bit. Yeah, there you go. There's about 3 or 4 liveries available in this, a blue one, and there's another one with a sort of a green front. I like this one because it had the stripes down the top of the roof line as well as on the side. I think it had the most detail, so I had to have it. But I believe James in Florida tells me the blue one is actually the authentic Ford colour. I don't know if that... I think that's correct. That's a nice little fun fact. And knowing that, it's sort of given me the jitters, and I'm thinking, should I get the blue one? Should I have a blue running mate? Should I? I don't know. If I do, it'll be a little while off. We had a little bit of a family emergency this week. A couple of little emergencies with the dog and the kitchen plumbing, and we suddenly had the insatiable desire to completely empty out our bank accounts, because you know you just love doing that, don't you, on stuff that you don't foresee, you don't expect, and then you wake up the next day and it's like, what the hell just happened? All the money's gone. What the hell? Yeah, I should have become an animal veterinarian, that's for sure. They know how to charge those characters. My God. Anyway, dog is doing well. The kitchen plumbing is fixed. It's unblocked. Our bank accounts are empty, and I'll have to wait a few months before I can get the blue Ford GT40 running mate. Now, it is a GT40, isn't it? What does that say? There you go. GT40 Mark II. I was spot on. Love this car. It's another top shelf little beauty from BRM. Absolutely fantastic. Love it. And that brings us to this. My next project after I get the HQs done, I got a couple of these white kits. Pioneer Legend white kits, you know, full builds. And I'm going to be creating fully functional slot car versions of these things, these statues that I did a few weeks back. Slot car Wildman did the basic vehicle 3D printout, and then I've dressed them up with all the wacky colours and tribal nonsense. There you go. So I thought, well, they're cool, but we really need something like that we can actually run. So I'm going to be hacking these bodies to bits. I'm going to put in some impromptu sunroofs. There's going to be these little war boy characters riding, popping out the top, grasping a spear that they're about to throw, stuff like that. I think I'm going to have the engine exposed. I won't know till I pull this apart and see the detail of the motors as to whether I do have the engines exposed. This is going to be quite a fun project, and I'm going to tackle them in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. I can't wait. These are going to be great, because Pioneer Legends are great fun, as as they are, but being able to have a white kit and do what you want to with them and dress them up, paint them, take them to a whole new level, make them uniquely yours, that's exciting. You just know these are going to be good runners, they're going to be fun to do. Can't wait to get onto that. So folks, that's basically all this week. That's where I'm at. And thanks for tuning in as usual. I shall see you all, hopefully next week, on Hughes Garage. Oh, slot car adventures. Look at that. Yes, it's red.